Hello, Marianne. Rhonda Constant, your favorite hometown medium, physical energy healer, oracle card advisor, paranormal investigator. Um, so I kind of like to explain just a little bit because I don't think I've done a reading for you before. I do so many. I might have forgot. I see, hear, feel, sense, know, have most of the senses. They talk to me, but they also show me pictures, and I call it spiritual charades. So I try to explain the picture to the best of my ability, what I feel and see that they're trying to show. If something in the reading doesn't make sense at the time, you'll either remember it later, see it later, or somebody in your family will validate it for you later. So just keep anything that doesn't make any sense in mind. This is not an exact science, so sometimes you got to think outside the box a little bit. And they only tell me, they don't give me all the details. They give me enough that you understand what they're talking about. Because the details are none of my business. And they tell us what we need to know, maybe not exactly what we want to know. So I let them run the show. They know what they need to say. So we're going to talk to your mom, and forgive me if I don't say her name correctly, but she said she would prefer to be called Kuncha because you gave me like three names, and she said she liked that name, wanted to be called that name. Anyway, I'm perfectly happy with that. Don't get mad at me if I butcher the name. Sorry. And okay, she's showing herself puttering around a kitchen, and there's food cooking everywhere. She says, "That's how I got this." I don't know. I know you may not. She's patting her belly. That's how I got this. And then she goes to the side, and she's smiling. Okay, she's making a big point of an aroma coming off of the stove, something she's cooking. It's in a large pot or kettle, I don't know, whatever you might want to call it. So, and she's making a big point of showing the steam coming off of it, the smell. I hear traditional dish. I don't know what country she was from. See if she'll show or say. She may not. She may just she's just showing a skillet beside it, and whatever she cooks in the skillet goes in that pot too. So it's a combination of stuff, evidently. And then she's pulling something out of the oven. They never waste a message. There's always a reason for what she's showing. She pulls something out of the oven. Looks like it's not fresh baked bread. It's more like rolls, but they don't look like rolls. They look a little longer than a roll, but it looks like a pastry type, not pastry, like a bread type product maybe. And I could be off on that because I can't see. I don't think I can't tell if there's anything inside of this thing, but it's not like a loaf of bread. It's like individual things. And she says everybody loved them. So whatever she's got cooking here, it's going to be something that you're familiar with. And I'm not 100% sure, but I'm guessing that it's something that maybe was not an everyday or an every weekly made thing. Something that was, I don't want to say, maybe made for occasions or something like that. So, Okay, she says you will hear her. You will. You might hear the oven door. You might hear something like, sounds like something scooting around on the stove. And I always ask them, don't do the spooky stuff because then people think their house is haunted and it's just mom. But it's going to be the smell of it. And because you'll hear these things. Good grief, I'm stuttering this morning. You'll hear these things usually when you're in the next room. They don't do it like if you're standing right there staring at the stove, more than likely you're not going to hear it. Usually it's like when you're walking out of the room or walking in the room. Anyway, but the smell you can get anywhere. You can be in the store, you can be in your car. So she says you've already smelled it before. You just get that little whiff, acknowledge her. Say, Mom, I know that's you. I love you. Bring me more signs. And she will. They like it when you validate and let them know that you understand that that's from them and not just some random smell. Okay, she's showing going over by the sink. Now she's showing to the left of the sink, a cabinet up higher. She's showing what looks like spices. I don't know if your spices are there, but if they're not in that exact that location, wherever they're at, but this is how she's showing it. And one of them's going to just fall out. Just when nobody's, and once again, it'll be like when you turn your back, walk out of the room, or you're walking in the room, or you just leave the room and come back and boop, there it is. So she's trying to get your attention. She's trying to let you know that she's there. She says, I'm okay. I am fat and sassy still. We don't have that heavy physical energy or physical body, but she's letting you know that she's fat and sassy. She's happy. She's good. Okay. I do stink at names. I used to get them exact. I don't anymore. I don't know why, but she mentions the name. First she said Carrie, and then she said Carrie Ann. So it's a female with the name that starts with a C or a CA and two names or two names together. So she said Carrie Ann the second time. So it could be Marianne, but it should start with a C. And it could be like she wants to be called Kuncha. So it could be something like that I would not understand if she said it. So anyway, might have to think outside the box a little bit on the name. Okay, she's over here. Excuse me. She's over here whispering in my ear. She said, I love you to the depth of my soul. I am over the top proud of you. And she's saying something I don't understand. So she's talking in another language or something. And okay. She tries to say that to you. I guess she's saying it in her language or another language, whatever. She's saying basically the same thing, but she's trying to say that in your ear too. So when they try to do that, a lot of times it'll only be one ear at a time usually. You might hear some muttering, you might hear a buzzing noise. Your ear might get really hot if she gets close enough, or tingle like goosebumps. She says again, trying to tell you, I love you, I'm proud of you. Sometimes, but it's usually when my archangels come in But I don't know. But it might be for you a high-pitched shriek in one ear. So when you get, if you get, no, when you get, because if she hasn't already, she's going to, the muttering or you're not going crazy. Well, I am. Leave that to me. Or the shrieking or whatever. Just tell them, I can't understand you. You need to lower your vibration or you need to slow down on your speaking or something. Let them know that you don't understand what they're trying to, what she's trying to say. And she will talk to you. She's mentioning somebody putting up a fence around their yard. Did somebody recently or is talking about or is going to put up a fence around their yard? I always ask them for at least a couple of things that they can validate that it's them. Then the rest of it's about whatever they want to say. Not every single thing I say is going to be, I can validate, validate, validate. Okay, she has an older man with her. He's not quite clear yet. He's stepping forward. He's got nice clothes on. He seems to have darker skin too, but not as dark as hers, or at least that's the way he's presenting himself. He's dressed in a nice, not a suit coat, it's not an overcoat, it's, oh crap, I need to look at some pictures on some of these clothes that they show me. It is a dress coat, but it would be something that you would wear over a suit. Now, he may not have a suit on under it, but he's making a point of this. It's a longer, um, something a man would wear in the wintertime. It looks, how do I want to describe it? It's a lighter color, but it's got like gray, tweed. I want to say tweed, but it doesn't look like tweed. Anyway, he's making a point of showing this. I can't call it a jacket. I can't call it an overcoat, but it would go over your other clothes. Eh, sorry about that. Anyway, he's stepping up and speaking to her, and she's acknowledging him. I'm seeing the letter C as in somebody's name, but then she wanted me to call her Kuncha, but I think the C is for him. Anyway, they want you to know that he's there too. She wants you to know. Okay, now this could be just a random deal. We usually don't allow just anybody just to run through the reading because I have pretty good gatekeepers keep that from happening. But there's a young boy, and I'm going to say roughly 6, and he's got shorts on with kind of suspender type things, but it looks like something that would be worn way back in the day. How far? Let's say way back, 50s, maybe. Don't hold me to the exact year. These shorts on with suspenders and stuff, and he kind of ran by in front of them, but he did not stop and interact with them. So this could just be somebody randomly running through, or it could be somebody that may not be related to you. Could be your friend, your neighbor who's lost a child around that age. But it would have been Well, unless somebody dressed him like that recently. I don't know. Anyway, he just ran through, so I'm not going to get any more info on that, but I need to mention it because it happened. All right, she's holding looks pretty much like a newborn baby. She says, my gift to you, but I'm not sure she's talking directly to you. So somebody at some point had a baby that passed, or there's an upcoming pregnancy, because they hold them either end of the deal. If a baby passes, then a family member will be taking care of their spirit, their soul, whatever. When they get there, they'll take care of them, but they also hold them before they come here. When she says my gift to you, I don't know if she means this is going to be my gift to you, and maybe not you personally, like you're going to have a baby, but somebody close to you, or grandchild or something. Or it could be her gift to you because she's taking care of it and she wants somebody to know that it's safe in her arms. She had like a knowing like where she could just sit there and go, kind of know what you're thinking. I know what's up. I know you're lying. I know whether you're telling the truth. She just knew things. And I don't mean like not as deep as being psychic, but she a little bit maybe more like an empath. Like when I sit next to somebody, I know what their feelings are. I know what kind of trouble they're going through. I know what their problem is. I know what the solution should be for them, even though they don't. She says she wasn't afraid to say something to somebody, but she says also a lot she held back and just kind of went, mm-hmm, I know. I already know. You don't need to tell me. I was just going back to a fence in the yard. So I don't know what's up with the fence in the yard, unless she's going to show me. I said, it's her ball game. She can show me whatever she wants. Something about a fence in a yard, and now she's showing a child on a tricycle inside the fence. Then the child goes outside the fence. I honestly don't know what she's showing. I almost feel like once the child gets through the gate that he gets hurt. But they're not showing me that. But they used to show me how people passed, and I had some horrific ones, and I asked them, I really don't want to see that anymore. We need to find another way to get to that point. So I'm looking at the notes, sorry. All right, so as far as your dad and that family, she says she does not mind because it will give your heart some peace. It will honestly help you. She said you have many unanswered questions, but she says, but say it again. Please don't let them sway you Their story will be different. I was always honest with you. Please don't be deceived. Yes, they have a different side of the story. Please don't be deceived. Remember my love for you. Remember what I gave up for you. Remember that I cherish you. You're a strong woman and you got that from me. But I want to see you happy. Remember the things I told you. I would not lie. I would tell you now if I had lied. And she goes, I don't want to talk about that anymore. She's, she says, my darling, you can be anything you want to be. And then she starts in a language I don't understand, which doesn't matter as far as my job, but she's making a point. It's not because, okay, it doesn't matter what language they talk. If they want to get whatever they want to get through me, they will talk in my language. It doesn't matter who it is. But she's making a point of this again for some reason. And she's jabbering real fast. So there's a reason for her showing that. She says you doubt yourself a lot. And you shouldn't. You should not. She says you should be a strong woman like her. She's saying something about back in the day. She's talking about when she was younger, that women were supposed to be submissive. But you don't have to now. Sorry. Miley, stop. She's showing like your heart's all covered up, like it's got this iron shield around it, like it's almost like you've hardened your heart. She says she wants you to find the answers that will set your heart free. Set your heart free. Sometimes I don't talk good with my new teeth. Set your heart free. She said, but also do some soul searching. And you're going to find the real you. Not the you I made you, not the you anybody else made you. You're going to find the real you. She says you need to go down deep inside and find the real you. And don't let anybody else tell you different. Okay. She mentions the name Harriet, and I said, really? Here we go with the names again. You know I don't get them. Mentions the name. We've been real serious during this one. Usually she's been serious. She mentions the name Harriet. So it's a female with an H or an HA name. I feel like, okay, like she wanted me to call her Kuncha, that this is like the same type of name that I would never get, you know. It's not like I could have called her I could have called her Connie, but she wanted Kuncha. So this is the same type. I hope I'm explaining that right. Anyway, she's acknowledging this female. I don't know why she's not saying. Sometimes they just throw words and names out there. Hmm. She's showing me a. Okay, I don't know what this is. There's like a light in your house, and it's on, but it gets brighter. So usually when they play with the lights, because electronic things are the easiest things for them to send signs, and manipulate. She's showing this light gets brighter, but it was already on. So just watch for something to happen with the lights in your house, a lamp, a ceiling light. I'm not sure what, because I don't know what kind of a light would already be on and get brighter. Usually they get dim and then they come back to normal, like flicker, like when they play with them. So maybe she's just talking about the flickering. I've never seen it shown this way. So anyway, watch. That will be her. Acknowledge her, validate her. She says, I do go see the grandkids. I'm very proud of them. She says, there's a couple of them that are pretty wild, and they would make me pull my hair out. I wouldn't be able to keep up with them. She's kind of shaking her head at him like, dang, they're really going. That type of thing. Like the way she's looking at him, like, ah, how the heck do they go that fast? That kind of a look. She says in her eyes, they're all awesome. And I can't tell how many there are because there's several smaller ones. So these could be great grandkids that she's showing right now because they're fairly small. And they look up. There's one. Okay. I thought another one did too. I was trying to see what she was going to show me. When kids are really little, and dogs and cats can too, but when kids are really little, they can see them. They can hear them. They can talk with them. They play with them. So there's for sure one small one that sees her. So you might watch the boy. You might have somebody watch this one if they look up at the wall and there's, especially like the corner of the room or something, they go, hi, or, something like that. That kid's validating that they see her. She's showing me that sometimes she stands there, hands on her hips, looking at him like, why are you doing that? You know you're not supposed to be doing that. Why are you doing that? See, even moms can still kind of get away with watching the kids. I've never seen anybody do this before either. She's showing like if they're going to go, like, let's say they're going to go down the hall and go somewhere and do something they're not supposed to, that she'll stand there in front of them like this, like, no, you're not. And they turn around and go back. I love it. I could have used some more help like that when my kids were younger. She's showing me again. Little boy waving at her. All right. She says, I'm getting ready to leave. You make sure you go get the answers that you need, and I will support you. And she's showing like the actual, like the scales of justice, type scale. She's seeing pictures all the time, and she says, just weigh both sides. So I think she's a little nervous that they're gonna say things that maybe aren't true or something, and she doesn't want you falling for it. You know the truth. And check if they tell you something. This is your psychic antenna. Trust your gut. This is your own personal antenna. And if your gut twists when somebody says something, pay attention to it. That's you knowing inside yes or no, right from wrong. Okay, she's leaving. Yeah, she got too close. They make my head itch. She's leaving, and she's got an apron on. She's pulling a little red wagon, and it says red flyer on the side, which I don't even know if they make it. It's a metal one. It looks metal. I don't know if they even make those anymore, but it has a little yellow cat in it. I would say kitten, probably, that's sitting in the wagon as she's pulling this wagon as she's leaving. Somebody lost their kitty, and she's taking it with her. So somebody needs to hear that their kitty is with her. I love how they bring messages through for others too. Or maybe it's yours. I don't know. I give them free rein to say what is needed to be said. Okay, she's leaving. Much love to you, my dear. Thank you for allowing me to be her voice. And she can hear you. I promise you. She can hear you. She can see you. Talk to her. You just are going to have trouble probably hearing her. And that's okay because she's going to get those signs to you. So especially the smells, because she had popped back to the kitchen for just a minute before she did that. So the smells are going to be important. Much love to you. Thank you. Rhonda Constant, your favorite hometown medium, physical energy healer, oracle card advisor, paranormal investigator. See you later.